standing here on the ground.
One fall evening, I'm chit-chatting at my best friend Trisha's house. One moment, we're fiercely debating whether Ben Affleck is a good actor or not. Another, we're exchanging recipes or talking about her latest date. Since I had been married for 13 years, I would live vicariously through her single life. This night, I was quiet. She seemed concerned about me. She had noticed a gradual change in my behavior over the past few months, but didn't know what was wrong. She asked if I was happy. Such a simple question, but I didn't have an answer. I met my husband my freshman year in college. I was in love from the moment we met. He was grounded, ambitious, and very caring. I saw him as the remedy for my flighty, self-destructive, going nowhere real fast type of lifestyle. All my friends were drawn to him, eager to hear his thoughts or get his advice because he was so smart. Wherever we went, he was the main course and I was the side dish. I appreciated that because I'm one that likes to blend in group settings, and I'm more interested to hear other people's perspectives than to share my own. I grew to trust him more than I trusted myself. My confidence and self-worth grew when I was with him. I wanted to be a better person and make smarter life choices. We dated for 7 years before we got married and had 2 boys right away. 5 years into our marriage, we were faced with a lot of challenges. My son was diagnosed with a brain tumor. His mom was losing her battle with cancer. And we had just closed on a house. He had also decided to quit his job to start his CPA practice. These stresses started creating distance in our marriage, and eventually we were on autopilot. That night, I left Trisha's house to find myself locked out of my own. I was able to manually open the garage, and as I turned the doorknob, the door swung open, and charging at me was my husband with his wide open eyes. They were bloodshot red, and his lips were tight against his teeth. And he was yelling at me about how long I've been gone, how I'm disrespecting the house, and how I am not welcome home. We were nose to nose with his hot breath and spit just hitting my face. I had been locked out many times. The inconvenience of it affected me because I would have to either sleep in the car or have to stay up all night listening to his rants. But I made no attempt to understand the source of his behavior. Is this what happy looks like? I had been raised in an abusive home with no love, support, or caring. There was only chaos, dysfunction, and severe forms of punishment. I learned as a little kid that I needed a high threshold for tolerance, ways to magnify what little was positive and shield myself from the negative. How else is a small child supposed to survive in a household like that? It wasn't shocking to me to see my mom laying on the ground being beat by my drunk dad. It was just another day in my life for my mom to treat me as a verbal or physical punching bag to let out her frustrations. When I was younger, it was tough hiding this from everybody else. It got easier as I learned how to hide it from myself. Since my husband had become very controlling, I didn't have much of a social life. It was rare that I would go anywhere. As time progressed, his episodes became more random and filled with anger and paranoia. One time, I woke up in the middle of the night to my husband standing at the bedroom door. He was staring at me and points. Everybody knows who you are. Don't you hear them? They're all talking about you. Another time I'm in the bathroom curling my hair when my husband walked in. He ran some bath water, took off his shoes, folded his pant leg, and started pacing in the water. He began to tell me in the most sincere tone that I needed help, that I was suffering from schizophrenia, and he even had names for my personalities. He felt that I was a danger to not only myself, but my kids. He pleaded with me to seek professional treatment and threatened to take my kids if I didn't comply. I felt sorry for him. Here was a man who I knew loved me. He wasn't trying to purposely hurt me. He truly believed what he was saying. The sadness I felt soon passed. As long as my boys were not being negatively impacted, my way was to avoid by all means possible, deflect to protect, endure if impacted, then deny to forget. I looked forward to times when mutual friends would visit and liven up our home. One night, one of our married couple friends came over. We were having fun, eating, playing cards, and laughing. But by the end of the night, I found myself in a fetal position, breathing in a paper bag, while my friend rubbed my back to keep me calm. Now, her husband was in the garage trying to talk my husband into putting his gun down. My husband had become enraged, accusing me of letting people in our home to spy on him. He had also accused our friends of putting poison in our food. Although I had known my husband had a gun, he had never before threatened me with it. All I could think about was how was I going to get my boys safely out of the house? Ding, 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 ding. I loved my boys more than life itself. And the thought that I could be putting them in harm's way made me realize that I had to face my truth. I finally read the writing on the wall. Wake up! He needs help. Seeing my husband for who he had become and admitting that he was no longer the fun-loving man I had fallen in love with, that was really hard. Obviously, there was something wrong. I pleaded with him to get help. I reached out to his friends and family. Nothing worked. He actually convinced his family that I was mentally unstable. I felt defeated. No one seemed to believe me but my closest friends. I was consumed with guilt for not having help sooner. The guilt caused me to endure another 6 months, but the situation worsened as he felt he was losing control of me. In retrospect, the signs of him mentally unraveling began when my son was diagnosed with cancer. My husband started falling into a black hole and couldn't get beyond his emotions. I can't tell you what was wrong with him because I don't know. We've been divorced 5 years and he's no longer a part of my life. I wish I could stand here and say that this entire experience changed my life and that I've put to practice all the lessons I learned. But the truth is, I'm still work in progress. And the Ben Affleck debate still continues.